Hello and welcome back to the channel. I've got this whole collection of Catan games, and now that the 2025 version of the game or edition is going to be released, I think it's time for me to still make sure that I open these old versions all in the channel. So stay tuned for the next videos where I'll be opening all these boxes one by one. This video is going to be dedicated to Catan Duel. Well, this version is called Catan Duel, but this is known as Rivals of Catan, an older game. So this is a new edition that is focused from the name in the duel part. It's for 2 players, as you can see here, in another language, and one of the players will be the bears character, the other one will be the wolves or lions or whatever that is, and they will be dueling each other within Catan world. Okay, so this is how the game setup looks like. One player on one side, the other player on the other side, they will be dueling each other. So let's see what is inside Catan Duel or Rivals of Catan, as you prefer. I prefer Catan Duel because I think the Veer here is following the trend of, you know, the duel games, Splendor Duel, Cosmic Encounter Duel, King of Tokyo Duel. Every time the game says duel, now everyone knows that it's gonna be the 2-player edition of something. So that's why they've rebranded this to Duel. And by dueling, you need someone with at least 10 years, and this is a game for 30 to 75 minutes. I haven't played it yet. I'm definitely interested in trying it, and I would like to have tried it before getting this video done, but it wasn't possible for me to be an unboxing, a true unboxing, if I had opened before, so that's why I'm doing it first. So that's what you have inside. We'll go there. Just looking at the manual. It's a long manual. It's not a simple game, at least from a manual perspective. Everything is explained, the setup, typical Catan looking things, and I'll give you, after showing the components, I will show you how the game works. I'm just seeing the language because this is only in one language, but yeah, this is only in one language. Some publicity of the other Catan games. Now the list of cards. And because I'm not familiar with Rivals of Catan, but from what I've understood here, this edition also includes expansions. So locations, the expansion for location, event cards, the Golden Age, which should be an older expansion. Golden Age. Is there a name for this expansion? No, this is just the cards they will have a symbol representing the set. So with the red symbol, this will be the basic cards. Oh, sorry, this is not an expansion here. This is expanding the locations. The expansions come after. So the Golden Age here, it's an expansion in orange. Then there will be the Chaos Age, whatever that means, in purple. And there will be another one, Age of Progress, a 3rd expansion. So it's not mandatory for you to include all of them. Let's take a look at the box. So the box is divided into 2 sections. On this side, we have 4 card trays where you will put all your cards in the table. I love the interiors when the interiors of the games are decorated. See the details here. We can see some of the artwork that I'm imagining that will be on the cards, as well as the famous Catan sun there. Okay, and here on the other side, we have 3 packs of cards and dices and wooden cards. Yeah, so it's the same image, symmetrically in the box. Okay, let's start with the wooden pieces. So this will be the production die. You'll have the same kind of production you have on a normal Catan game. And when you roll the production die, you will also roll this one, which will cause effects like thief. The thief will come from here. And then there will be opportunities for you to get more resources from these cards. And there's also these wooden tokens, which represents, first of all, the balance, and the other one will be whoever has more warriors or more heroes. So that's like the longest army or something. Okay. Then 3 packs. So I'm assuming that there will be the expansion, the base ones. So I'll just open and show you, and then we can assemble an example of a game for me to explain how it works. Okay, so there are no card backs in some of the cards because they differ. So there's no Catan simple base. You have the regions. I'll just separate it because I wanted to show you something before. Where does this start? So there are some starting cards. Yeah, let's start by looking at the starter cards. So yes, so you either be the orange player or the blue one, the bear, or I think it's a wolf, right? So these will be your starting cards, which I'm going to show you. This represents a victory point, and you start with 2 villages. You'll see the setup, roads. So these are the roads, the starting roads, and then you have the tiles for the resources. The tiles for the resources, the name is right there. So there's also gold from one of the normal Catan expansions, the gold, which was a wild resource. You also start with the production of gold, and you have clay, you have the forests, you have the sheep, you have the stone or the ore, and you have the wheat. Okay, and the way this works is when you roll a 5, that's where you get this resource, and then because there are no other cards to represent the resources, the way the game works is that on the table you just rotate, and this means that if this is pointing towards you, you have 1 wheat, 2 or 3 or none. That's how it works. And for the rest is the same. So a 6 would be for ore, 1 for sheep, 3 for wood, 2 for clay, and 4 for gold. Okay, so if you take a look at the other deck, which is here, sorry, if we compare both wheats, means that on the both starter decks, 5 would be on the blue wheat, and then 6 would be on the orange one. Okay, so that's the starter deck. That's how you start the game, and then you'll be able to spend those resources in order to build, for example, the roads. Roads cost 1 wood and 2 clay, and this will be here on the tray for you to take it. And then once you build, you put it on this side, and you have another road. So besides roads, you also have cities where you upgrade one of your previous one by paying the same cost as a normal Catan game, 2 wheat and 3 of ore. And you can also build on your turn another town, which is the normal cost for Catan. And then you rotate and you have another victory point and another one in your board. Okay? And by the way, as you can guess, the cities are worth 2 points. So the victory conditions now are different. For the base game without expansions, you just need 7 victory points, and with the expansion it goes a little bit beyond that. This is how the initial setup looks like. So you have the 2 towns in the beginning connected by a road, and then you have all the production cards around that in this shape, and then the other player will have something similar on the other side of the trays. So then when you have enough resources to build a road, you just take a road from here, from the tray, and you put it here, and then later on you can build another village right here on this side, right? So if you do that, you take it from here, you pay these resources, and then the village comes here, or you can expand to this side as you please. Okay, so then what happens? What happens if you this is called like exploring. And then once you open another region by building a village, then you go to the region cards, you take 2 of them randomly. Okay, it's not shuffle, so I take 2. And then you build them here on diagonally to this other 2, to this village that you've built. So it's difficult for me to frame it, so I'll just rotate a bit. Okay, so you can now continue to explore this direction here with another road and unlocking more regions. Or you can come to the right side and explore to this side. So the game has this guide here to help reminding you the stages. So you throw the dice, then if there is a thief here, you apply the thief, then you get the production, and you see the effects on the cards. The effects could be from this, could be either the thief, you know, if you have 7 or more resources, you need to lose, in this case is you just lose all your sheep and gold. Okay, so it's not the same as Catan, it's just that. Then depending on what happens, you could have like, this is like a good crop, everyone gets a resource at their choice, and then this will be, if the player that has more of these things will get another resource. But this is the thing that is also important, which is the event cards. There will be some event cards that will affect at this stage. And then you play the action cards, which are the cards that I'm going to show you. And then in the end of the turn, you have to get 3 cards back. You draw until you have 3 cards, and that's it. So event cards, the cards that you can play, could be things like, first of all, there's always a cost here on the right corner. So this would be 1 wood and 1 clay. And then you build, this is a building, right? And you need to choose an empty slot, like here, 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 where the house will be doing its effect. So in this case, this is the one that when you see that symbol, it gives you this extra thing. So it's, you are building an engine with using the cards that you have in order to get more resources. So this would be the bridge with a stop where you need to pay. Okay. Then there are different types of other types of buildings that you can build. So this has a different cost. It's a storehouse, and this one is important because it has these 2 arrows. So it affects literally the 2 cards that you have on the right or left side. So in this case, when the warehouse just protects you when there is a robber case, you just get these 2 regions adjacent protect, and it's protected in a way that those 2 regions don't count for the limit of 7. Okay, so you just ignore. You could have like lots of them stored here in the storehouse, and when doing the math for the 7, for more than 7, those 2 don't count. Okay, that's another one. That there's the iron, so it duplicates the production of ore on left and right, so you should place it around ore. The same thing but for cereals and wheat. The same thing but for wood. The wood shop, it doubles the wood production. The clay production, this is the sheep production or the wool. Then the monastery allows you to have 1 more card in your hand, and we have a few. Then the market here, the town hall. I'm just going to show you the cards because it will take a lot of time to explain all of them. The merchant sheep, which allows you to do some trading. Miner sheep, cereal sheep, wood sheep, clay sheep, so a sheep for all of them. Okay, and then you also have some characters which are called the heroes. Okay, so the hero has that symbol, and there's also the party symbol. So these are symbols that you see here on the die, for example. So whoever has more of these symbols will get the benefit, and you count through all the cards. And also the one that has this symbol, this counts as 1 extra point. Okay, so the moment you get this, Austin, you'll get this, but then if other player gets more than your number of heroes, he will steal from you. The same way as the biggest army and the biggest broad, right? So we have Austin, we have Harald, which has 2 heroes and only 1 party. Then Inga is a party girl. Osmund has both, and then they become more expensive. So this guy is even more expensive. Kandamir, but he has 4 hero symbols. Singlind. Okay, so these ones are event cards that would affect the game in certain ways. Positioning, scout, the caravan of merchants. Okay, these are actions that don't go into your board, so you don't put it there, you just use the card do the effect, and that's it. Okay. And then when you roll this symbol, the enigma symbol, you have to draw an event card from this deck and apply. And you have things like invention. Every player chooses a resource for each building that he has with at least 1 point of progress, which means towns, right? 1 resource for every building. That's what you get. The solstice of winter. So the solstice of winter is an important card because it triggers the deck being shuffled again. So this goes into the almost the bottom, and then when it's taken out, it shuffles the deck again for it to make sure that all the events happen before the solstice. Productive year, there's the Catan sun there. Okay, a few, I don't know how to say this in English, I'm sorry. Contests, the seller, and the race for the ships, the selling ships, events. This way has a symbol there. Why is there a symbol? These have symbols, night symbols. I don't know what that means. Okay, so then, as a reminder, the game comes with 3 expansions, so you can identify those cards there if you want to include. That's the Age of Progress, and there are events specific coming from this expansion. Then you have also the Chaos, no, sorry, this one. Yeah, it's correct, Chaos Age. Yep, and you have the Gold Age. So I'm just going to show you all of these expansions for you to see what comes in. So there's a superhero coming. Oh, 2. So these are not unique. These are not legends. They just are characters that come repeated here. There's another building, very expensive one. The town hall, the university, which gives points and extra cards in your hand. The library that has an effects when they come in. The pharmacy or something. Thermal waters. Oh, there's a crane here. Some of them have requirements. So in order for you to build this crane, you need to have the university as a requirement. Okay, this one is worth 2. Parliament. And then actions that happen as well. Benjamin, Guido, the diplomat. So you also have characters that come into actions. Instant cars, a medic. Brigitta, we've seen that. Okay. There's the plague as well. And invention. So the way this is built with some cards that are repeated. Actually, the game foresees many ways for you to mix the cards. There are definitely lots of modes for you where you can use a single expansion or you can mix all the expansions. And some of the cards are intended to be visible and to be available for every player to buy them. You don't need to draw them. So it's really difficult for me to explain all the combinations possible. The manual explains everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just show you the cards and we can get an idea of what the expansion is adding in terms of value. Okay, so this would be the Age of Chaos. And in terms of action cards, you have the presents for the prince. Then you have the training camp. There's a watchtower. Wow, superhero 5. Enric. Oh, this is Klaus. I can recognize this picture here. So this is like an homage. He's getting immortalized on his own game. With his picture here, Klaus Tauber, Irmgard, and then these that are buildings like in red, these should be available for you to build, because if you notice there are 2 of each, so this means that Yeah, both players could get one. The main square has only one here. Tavern has two. Treasure room, party saloon, fireman. So in the setup you see which are the buildings that should be available or not for in the trays to be picked, to be built. Then there's pillage here. Okay, some of the cards are identified with moons because in the different setups the moon cards need to go away and be replaced, so it's easy for you to identify. Sebastian, the preacher, trader, and then the contest. Yeah, some of the cards get they appear again. Then the final expansion, the Golden Age. The Golden Age. You have more warehouses. So I guess these expansions are a bit thematic because you can see the kind of cards you get from them. Like this is more fighting, more on the trade side. This one is lost here, it belongs here. The bridge again, gold hideout, pirate ship, 2 pirate ships, another merchant ship, the merchants guild, 1 for each, the pawn shop, the harbor, the trading post, the coin house, 2 coin houses, fish market, salt silo, and then master merchant, only a merchant, Reiner. Is this Reiner Knezia's picture here? Immortalized as well. I don't know. I don't know how he looks, so but I see so many details that my guess would be that some kind of tribute there. Would that be? If you know, let me know. I'll check his picture after. Good room and traders, and that's it. Yeah, so yeah, lots of content. I was not expecting. That's why this box is considerably big, above expectations, because it has really a huge amount of content and variability in your game. So I'm looking forward to be able to try this and see the quality of this card game. I hope you like this video to the point that you consider hitting that like button and subscribing. I have a playlist fully dedicated to Catan and all the games that you saw in the introduction, as well as playlists for other board games out there, as well as for the major card games in the market. And I also have a podcast called The Table Talks in the channel, where I'm interviewing people while getting to know their profiles, their projects, their stories, and while playing board games online with them. So I definitely think that you'll find interesting content in the channel to consider subscribing and to be part of this community. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you in the next videos. Goodbye.